Hello everyone and welcome to our first Barhead live stream. My name is Lisa Crosbie. I'm joined today by Rishona. Do you want to say hi, Rishona?
Hello everyone, welcome to our first Barhead live stream, and hi Lisa.
We are going to be talking about the Wave 1 2022 release today in Power Platform and Dynamics 365. This is our first live stream, so we're going to be doing a little bit of an experiment and warming up here. We would love to hear from you in the comments and in the chat here. We are broadcasting to LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So welcome welcome.
Give us a hello if you're here, so we can see. Make sure we're not talking to ourselves as well.
Absolutely. So we are going to be talking about the Wave 1 release, which was announced a couple of weeks ago across Dynamics 365. We have got a whole heap of features that we're going to go through in the sales application and the marketing applications in particular. And then we're also going to pick out some highlights from Power Platform. So lots to love there: Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, AI Builder, Power, what have I left out? Power BI as well. So we would love it if you would pop any comments in the chat there of things that you feel we might have left out, things you agree with or disagree with, and anything else that you'd like to join the conversation. All right, Rishona, let's kick this off. So I reckon I'm going to start with the Dynamics 365 part in the sales application, because I think there's a lot of things going on there. So some of you will be joining us who are Dynamics users. Some might be joining us as Power Platform users. Dynamics 365 Sales is the main CRM application in the platform. The thing I'm most excited about here is some new capabilities coming into the mobile app. So we've got a sales application, Dynamics 365 mobile app that goes with that, and there's two new things coming in here. One of them is the ability to make phone calls from your mobile phone and have them go directly into the sales application. So this is something that I've heard a lot of our customers asking us about, where, great, we've got a mobile app for the CRM. What happens when the seller makes a call from the mobile phone? Yeah, the app doesn't know about it. So this is a new thing.
I like that one the best.
Yeah. I think it's something that it's a pain where, people, because realistically you make the call from your phone. You're going to go to your address book on the phone and make the call from the phone rather than going into the app and clicking the number and so on. And the other thing in there is a deeper link through to the Outlook application as well. So I think what we're going to see, hopefully, it's always when we start to look at these things in the new release wave, we read the notes and make the interpretation. But it appears that with that sales mobile application, we're going to get a heap of new stuff there. There's also lots sort of coming through in the AI features in sales as well. So if you haven't looked at that stuff, there's some things changing around what you're getting even with the sales standard license, some limited capacity for some of those AI features to predict, which opportunities are most likely to close. Something that, a thing called Sales Accelerator, which allows you to have an intelligent work list of items and so on. So lots of things coming in there. So your pick there was the mobile application as well, Rishona.
Yeah, I feel like when I was reading through the list of things, that's the thing that stood out for me. Because we're not going to be spending our, can't do every call from Teams. We're going to be using our phones for that. So it's nice to see these things coming together.
Excellent. All right. So marketing, I definitely want to talk about, because honestly, the marketing application, which was actually the first section in the release notes, there is so much going on in the marketing application.
And it was mostly had all marketing picks, right?
Look, I really had to fight against my my own judgment to not make my entire top 10 all about the marketing application.
I feel like looking through it as well, the most action was going on with marketing.
So you're quite new to, you've sort of just started working with the marketing application. Was there anything in there that that jumped off the page at you?
Well, there's a lot of AI stuff that they've brought in. So the thing about being able to further hyper-personalize is what they call it. So, depending on what a specific person does, or, they can really break it down into how you want to personalize the communications for them. So I'm trying to recall exactly what that one was called. I think it was in your top 10 though, Lisa. You probably remember the name better than me.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't really remember the names very well.
AI,
it definitely has hyper-personalization. Yeah. So this is the other thing, is that the release notes, the way that the features are described as business value statements. So there's quite a lot of words. So I tend to refer to these things in a certain way, but that one I do have in front of me was called Hyper-Personalized Next Best Content Selection.
Yes,
So
that
this
one.
one's coming out of, yes, that one. You said hyper-personalized, that's the main thing.
That gave it
So
away.
we're talking here about, with the marketing application, there's this notion coming through of customer journey orchestration. So this is a really big shift away from broadcast marketing. So instead of saying I have a segment of people who are, all the people in this particular demographic and let's send them something, we are doing real-time marketing where we can say, and this is where this hyper-personalization concept comes through, is to say we can trigger based on a very specific thing that somebody does in a particular moment. Somebody checks into your event, or somebody joins your Wi-Fi, or somebody lands on your landing page on your website, or whatever that is. And then the journey sparks off to say, well, hey, Lisa, I know you're a regular customer of our business and you're hyper engaged, and you're in our loyalty program and so on. So, and your preferred method of communication is phone, and so I'm going to send you an SMS welcoming you. Whereas Rishona, you're new to our store and or new to our business, and we haven't engaged with you before. You don't want to be sending the two of us exactly the same thing, and we don't know much about you when we use AI to determine the best channel to communicate with you. So there's all of that stuff, and this hyper personalization means that we've got even more going on in here with setting up different calls to action and different things for different customers along the way. So we're not doing this kind of, hey everyone, here's an email anymore. We can get much more sophisticated than that.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah. So the marketing thing then is, this massive investment. The customer journey orchestration feature came out middle of 2021, and we are now seeing, like, for the wave 1 release, is just absolutely jam packed with all of these new features. So the ability to trigger journeys from other journeys. There's another piece there that was actually announced late last year at Ignite, but appears in this release wave as well, to use Power Automate flows in the journey. So this thing now of, instead of it just being a marketing communications journey where we're sending out all of these email communications, it's actually now the ability to orchestrate all of the touch points, sales, marketing, customer service, because this journey is actually being built under the hood. It's a flow. You don't have to know that, and honestly, if you do crack into it, it's quite complex. But because it's got flow underneath, or it's got a flow underneath, it means you can bring the flow up to the surface. You can actually say, let's trigger a flow from here. So now, we've sent me an email as a highly engaged, or no, we're sending me a text, weren't we, as a highly engaged customer, and we've sent you an email as a new customer. But then we can have a flow to say, hey, account manager, your highly engaged customer Lisa just did this. You should make her an offer to purchase whatever, and send a notification to the salesperson. So this whole journey orchestration goes much bigger than just marketing now, which I think is it's going to be fun.
That's awesome, man. Going to be really game changing with all
It
that.
is.
And we got some love for the Power Automate flows in the chat there too.
Yes, as I say, I'm trying to, with this whole thing of live streaming and watching the chat and so on. So
Unfortunately,
please
I
don't
can't
forget to
see
follow us
everyone's
here.
names. I can see some names.
Yes, no, some
So
of the
hello.
names are coming through, but we have a very engaged person here called LinkedIn user. So hi, LinkedIn user. Hi, Adrian, Benz, Erickson. We've got a few different people here. So yes, we've got a few wows and highs in there as well. Please let us know if you have looked at this stuff or heard other things that you want to shout out and see what we think about them. That's fine, because the release notes are in the PDF format. 500 pages, 600 pages, and we're going to spend 30 or 40 minutes here talking about them, so we're probably not going to cover everything. Jonathan, this has potential for change management. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Jonathan.
That's a really good one.
There was also another one. I'm not sure which one it sits under. It was about the sort of the consolidated timeline where, like, if you go to sales, you open up
yeah.
someone, you can see the history from both interactions is done with marketing, sales. So, someone clicks on an email or you make a call to them, it comes up in the timeline, no matter which app you're in.
So so that consolidated activity view across sales, marketing, customer service. So at the moment, the sales and customer service applications use that standard timeline. So we're tracking, outgoing emails that are sent through Outlook and tasks and phone calls. And at the moment, the marketing application puts its insights in a separate tab. So you switch across to a separate tab and get all the marketing, the clicks and the opens and so on. And again, this is one that comes up from people that go, oh, can't I have that in the timeline? At the moment, it's because it's sort of stored in a different place. It's shown in a different place. So I'm delighted to see this, because then what we'll get is, this seamless sales and marketing experience. If you're a seller and you're in your CRM, you'll get, here's the email I did, here's the phone call task. Oh, they just opened that email from marketing, or they just received that email from our marketing team as well, all consolidated in the same timeline. Oh, and they opened a customer service case and all of those sorts of things. So that 360-degree activity view is, good call, Rishona. Yes.
Yeah, just remember that one. I remember that one stood out to me as well.
And
was there
hola,
anything
Jessie.
else in sales and marketing?
So let me have a look. In the marketing side of things, there must have been another one. We've got the triggering the journeys, the unified timeline, hyper-personalization.
I got the
Those are my
list up.
three
Let me
top
just take
highlights
another
in there.
read through, see what was there. And we got
So
the
I think,
Teams chats.
Oh, I was going to save that for Power Apps. Let's use that as a good
sorry.
segue.
Forget I said that. We'll leave that for a surprise for later.
No, let's use that as a segue. So as we look at the Power Platform stuff, the Power Apps section actually has a lot in it for Dynamics users, even if you're not using Power Apps. So we have this concept of model-driven apps, which is the same thing that sits underneath Dynamics. So as we look in the Power, so if you're a Dynamics person, you want to look at the Power Apps section of the release notes as well, because some of that is about Canvas apps, so standalone apps, but a lot of it is constant, and there's a lot of this coming through improvement and innovation on the user interface that goes into Dynamics as well as in that. So now as you go, what was the Teams one you were going to call out there?
Oh, so Teams, I think there was more, though I just switched my page back to the Power Platform stuff. So in marketing, I think there was more stuff with built-in Teams chat, collaborate across your organization to create the best marketing campaigns possible using the built-in Microsoft Teams chat.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else. So yes, that is, so there's a bigger picture thing here around that embedded Teams chat collaboration, which is available in preview now in the sales app. But yes, you're right, that's coming into the marketing app in this release as well. So I'm thinking there that's things like, I need to get an approval on this campaign before it goes out. I'm going to chat to my marketing manager, and in the context of the record, have that Teams chat there. Give us a shout out in the comments here if you have seen that embedded chat in Dynamics.
I'm taking a read through it again. Pretty much what you said. So you can be in Dynamics working there. You've got the chat at the side. You can just directly talk to someone to let them know what's up from there. Don't need to leave the app.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. So you can, and you've got that full featured chat as well. So what happens is it comes up down the side, and it actually says as it's, because it's in preview at the moment in the sales apps. As you're right, it's coming through in the marketing app in the new release. But we've got we've got the ability to be able to. It says suggested users. So this idea of co-presence is starting to come through as well, where it will say, somebody else is working on this record at the same time as me, or I'm in here. The suggested user might be a stakeholder or an owner of that record. So here are the people that you should chat with. So it's quite sophisticated in what it can do, and you get that full featured chat where you can add your. Do you say GIF or GIF? I say GIF. You can add your GIFs.
I used to say GIF, but now I say GIF because I heard that was the correct one.
No.
So I was originally a GIF. I was originally on the GIF side. I switched.
Team GIF. Let us know in the chat. Are you Team GIF or Team GIF? I think the world is 50-50 decided. In any case, you can add animated graphics in there. You can add the live the emojis as well, and attachments and things as well.
Exciting.
Emma, I've only seen it in OCS, but it sounds so exciting. Yes, Jar Jar has tried the chat in Dynamics with love heart eyes. I'm totally totally with you on that. Claire has asked where are the release notes. Let's grab a link to that, and we'll pop it in the chat here. Let's see if that will work for me. I'll pop a.
You might need to do it. I don't think I can.
Yeah, we've got our wonderful marketing colleagues behind the scenes there who I can who I can who I'm sure can do that as well.
Yeah, and David just
Likelihood of this
reminded us
showing
that
up in customer service. GIF is a
it
cleaning
is a
product.
cleaning product.
Okay, so I win. It's GIF. GIF is definitely. We're not
I'll let it go.
sponsored
Like
by
I
GIF,
said, I
by the
don't
way.
mind either.
Likelihood of this showing up in customer service, yes, it will be there. It was in the wave 2 release notes end of last year that it would be added to customer service. I haven't tested recently, but it's got preview in sales and then sort of fast rollout into the other things. If it's not already in customer service, I mean, I'm sitting here and saying it definitely will be, but yes, it was announced that it would be a fast follow after sales. Oh, Team GIF, Josa, I'm disappointed. Disappointed.
Gotta turn
All
people
right, now
against each
before
other
I
here.
move us along to Power Platform, Rishona, because I got that wrong. If we anything else on the sales and
Oh,
marketing
before
or in
that, did you want to
that
touch on
Dynamics thing?
anything with Microsoft Industry Clouds before Power Platform, or should we leave
Oh
that for
yeah.
later?
Yeah, no, let's talk industry clouds because, in fact, the Dynamics release notes are now called it's Dynamics 365 and Industry Cloud. It's always interesting to see what gets a headline point. So Industry Cloud has been a massive thing that's come through over the last year or so, and there's about 5 or 6 of them now. And what this is doing is bringing together Dynamics 365, Power Platform, Azure, Microsoft 365, LinkedIn, all of those things together. We do a lot of work here with the not-for-profit cloud. If you're watching this and you're from a non-profit organization and you'd like to know more about that, certainly ping us and we'll get in touch. But there's non-profit, there's manufacturing, financial services, retail, healthcare, and there's a cloud for sustainability as well. So what these things are doing is bringing together ready-made solutions. So with the not-for-profit area, for instance, is a ready-made application for fundraising and engagement and one for volunteer management and engagement. And so we're really seeing a really accelerated way to help our customers get started on that stuff, because you're not starting with this blank starting point of, well, what would you like to do? We can go, here's best practice and here's a finished solution across all of these technologies just working together. And more we see with this, that this is going to be the year of the Microsoft 365 collaboration tools and the Power Platform and Dynamics tools becoming best friends. If they're very good friends right now, but they're going to be doing a lot together this year as well. So those industry clouds are very rich in breadth and depth of capability for people to get started. Anything new related to not-for-profit? Yeah, look, the release notes on the not-for-profit stuff have some things around sort of an easier deployment and things like that. I think most of the new stuff there was called out in when that was launched in November last year. Certainly the biggest new pieces are volunteer management and engagement. So we've had the fundraising and engagement application for a year or so, but the volunteer management application is brand new. So that gives you a capability to recruit and manage and onboard volunteers and a ready-made portal to advertise those positions. There's also program impact reporting is new in the cloud there as well. So that ability to be able to holistically analyze your program management and success of different programs, saving heaps of time in pulling all of that together. So there's a ready-made Power BI report that comes with the cloud that's new there as well. So those are the two sort of big ticket new items in that. Alvin team GIF, or is he going GIF?
I think you meant GI.
He's put.
Yeah.
We've really started a whole controversy.
You started
Controversy
something
or
here, Lisa.
controversy. I'm not even going to go
No,
there now.
don't go there.
All right, so Power Platform.
All right, Power Platform.
Where should we
Should we go
start?
Power Apps? I kind of feel like starting
Yeah,
off with Canvas apps first, because I've been
go for it.
building a lot of Canvas apps in the last few weeks. So this one
You have.
would really save my life if we had it right now. It's going to be the ability to tell you what is wrong with your formula, which we don't have at the moment.
Oh,
You know how
yes.
you're kind of sitting there struggling, is this right? Well, putting a dot here in my formula, get it to work. So there's got to be a
Yeah.
feature that is now going to tell you what is wrong with it. So you don't need to be spending hours just sitting there trying to troubleshoot what is wrong with your formula. You can build your app, it will tell you what's going wrong, and you can go from there to fix it up. This is just going to save me so much time. I wish we had it now.
I'm a big fan of that. That's a bit like, I think it's going to be a bit like Excel, because it's that PowerFX formula where it's sort of suggested, and honestly, the amount of times, and you and I have both taken a lot of beginners through that Canvas app journey, forgetting to close the bracket, forgetting to put the full stop in there. Things, we've all done it, and we still do it, don't we?
Yeah, just things that are going to make the building experience a lot more better.
There we
Let me
go.
go through. So what
Big
else is there
support
for
for that
Power
from both
Apps?
Stephanie and Emma as well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's also the with Dataverse, getting your tables into Dataverse. So if you've ever used Dataverse for Teams before, you know how it has that table editor. You can easily just click plus to add a new column into your table. So that's the experience in Teams. But the plan is, from what I can see from the notes, is that they want to bring that into our normal Power Apps now as well. The experience is so much nicer to build it that way as well. So, I mean, it's already not that hard, to build your Dataverse tables, but this one will make it, a lot simpler to see all your data, simply add a new column, add in new rows as you're viewing it live. So that's the other one I'm looking forward to. I think there was also
And I
something with
think there's
Excel. Were you about to say
go on.
that?
We've got a slight delay on this, by the way. In it's like, for those old enough to remember, like an old STD phone call. Rishona, go.
Oh, I was just going to say, were you about to say something about Excel? Or no, I was probably just thinking it.
Oh, no, I think the thing with what you're talking about there, with adding the rows in the table in that way, is more like people coming from SharePoint or Excel or Microsoft Lists.
Yeah.
It's more like that sort of format where you're actually, at the moment, to build an app, a model-driven app, or to work in Dataverse, you are, as much as it's low code, you're still going into a solution explorer type of experience, whereas this is much more of a sort of front-end experience where you're adding columns and adding data in line and so on. So there's a bigger picture thing here, as I step back and look at what's going on with Dataverse and model-driven apps in particular in the last little while, and what we see coming, to make it even more accessible to more people to do that. And if, in fact, across the whole platform, it's all about how do we get from low code to no code, and how do we extend the help. And I think the help even in the Canvas apps is a feature of this. How do we really extend the more people to be able to use this more easily? So I think that's going to do that. But yes, the Excel thing then is you can upload a table structure from Excel.
Oh, yes, that's what I was thinking. It was that one. That's right. Yeah, so
Yeah.
At the moment, you've got to use like Power Query to kind of map it, to put it in. So what does this one do?
Oh no, so this is even more than that, which is that you can upload so at the moment you create a new table. Let's say I want to create a table for equipment or something, and I put in a table and I go, I want the equipment type and the price, and you go create column, create column,
Yeah.
create column. The way this reads is that you have that in a spreadsheet and you create the table itself, not even just the data, but the actual table structure from uploading like you have your data structure in a spreadsheet and upload it.
Wow,
So,
it's really going to make things so much better.
yeah.
Looking forward to that one.
Yeah. So all of these things are just, much more user friendly, because there are millions more people who use Excel than know how to create
people pretty
tables
much come
in
from
Dataverse.
Excel.
So,
That's what they know. They're comfortable with. It makes it a lot easier for them to then move on to getting the stuff in
yeah.
Dataverse. Was there anything else
What
for
else did you
Canvas
have in your
apps?
Power Apps list? I
For my
didn't
Power
have
Apps
much for
list.
Canvas apps, actually.
Yeah, I think that was it, really. For the
So
Power
the
App,
other
other
one for
Power App
me,
stuff. You go ahead.
yeah, I had Dataverse stuff. So yeah, the model-driven app stuff again. So, and these are things that both go, because they're model-driven apps and Dataverse things that will help Dynamics 365 sales and customer service users as well, and field service. Actually, I shouldn't leave out poor old field service. But there's an editable grids component coming. So again, that experience, like the grid design has had an overhaul, and it just, a lot of things that are just making it easier to do that data entry just right on the screen in front of you. But the other one I like, and this is the one that I thought you were talking about 10 minutes ago, so I've just given myself a big segue back here, is the ability to create and join Teams meetings from Dynamics. So at the moment, if you want to, like in Outlook, you can create a meeting and toggle the thing to say Teams meeting. But if you create an appointment from Dynamics or from your model-driven app, you don't have the option to say, I want this to be a Teams meeting. You have to go into Outlook to do that. And these two things sync in every other way, right? So now when you have that same experience, if you create an activity from from your Dataverse application, you'll be able to toggle it, and then you'll be able to join from that link from in there. So again, it's a little thing, seems like a little toggle switch, but that bigger picture of Teams and Dynamics are really going to be best friends this year. It's another piece in that whole bigger story.
That's right. That was the other thing.
Now Claire has asked, will the column types be correct
when import from Excel?
Yeah. So here's the thing about new release notes. They give you this much information, and then we watch this space and we learn more and we share more. Follow us here on LinkedIn. This is one of my top features. The more I find out about it, I will make sure that we are posting on the Barhead LinkedIn. So, make sure you follow us. We will keep updating this stuff, because the new release notes are a starting point, not a finishing point. And it's a wave of features. We should have said this up front, actually, that come out between April and September. So some of these things are going to hit in April. Some of them are going to run over the next few months and so on. And some of them have quite a lot of information and screenshots, and some of them are like, here's a forthcoming announcement. Watch this space. So watch this space for the answer to that one. I feel like there was an in-joke there with Albert's. I'm just not even going to go there, because I think I've missed an in-joke with the GIF and the GIF thing, but people are entertaining themselves in the chat, which is awesome. Go on, Rishona.
Oh, no, I just remembered one other thing for Canvas apps. It was announced last year, but they put it in the release notes here as well. The thing about creating standalone apps, native mobile apps. So that means, how at the moment you need to get the Power Apps app on your phone. You can use that to launch all the Power Apps that are made. So this is the ability for you to make it as a standalone one. So it seems more like a native app. So, it's just going to be an app sitting on your phone. You can give it its own branding, its own icon. So people can just click on it like it's a native mobile app, rather than launching it through the Power Apps one. So the other thing with that as well is you can also then put it on like Google Play or the App Store for your colleagues to go and find and install from there. So that was announced last year, but they added it in here too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no, that's an important one to highlight. And it's still a business application. It's still not a consumer application, but the distribution of it within your organization can be packaged up in that way and distributed through the App Store in that way. That just makes it so much easier to sort of, for the end user to feel like they're getting that app deployment experience, and for you to be able to package up and put it out that way.
And design it as you like.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, I think I'm done with the purple section. Rishona, how about you?
I think I'm done with purple too.
Is it purple or magenta? Here we go. Purple or magenta? What color is the Power Apps color called?
I just assumed
it's
purple.
Probably magenta. There we go. Let's see if we can have as much debate about that one as the GIF or GIF. It probably is magenta, today. But I called it purple. I'll be all over it. Where should we go next? Blue, teal, or yellow?
Let's go blue. I actually like the Power Automate stuff the best. I reckon this one had the most exciting things. So if you are a flow builder, then I don't know, what I do is, like, if I'm playing around with the flow, I feel like I got to keep saving the flow somewhere so I don't mess it up, because there's no undo feature, but they're giving us an undo and redo feature now. Yay. Finally, because I know for me, if I'm building a flow, I'm very nervous. I make multiple copies of it so I don't break anything off my working flow. But now, finally, we can just simply undo, redo if you make a mistake. So, small feature, but, this is really going to be game-changing for a lot of people, especially if you spend a lot of your time building flows.
Absolutely, and we love an undo button. That's little thing that's going to be amazing. There we go. Ben's is right there with you on the undo. Yes.
Yeah, I think when feedback I heard from people I asked was that the undo feature was probably their favorite of everything. So a bit more about the flow building then is the OData simplification. So, if you want to add filters to, like a Sharepoint action to find a particular row, particular record, you need to know the OData formula in that format. So, that's something everyone is going to be able to remember. So starting off with one of the Sharepoint actions, they're going to simplify how you can enter in that formula. So it's more like a bit more of a wizard that takes you through what should that formula look like. And then, oh, wow, Lisa, you got the comments coming up on the screen now.
Look at me looking like I know how to work live streaming. Thanks, David.
That was actually cool. Keep that coming. Keep it coming.
Okay, we're going to see more of that now that I've worked out I can press that button. Sorry, keep talking. We did say this is a bit of an experiment.
Yeah, good to know. Good to see them here. So yeah, with the OData thing, rather than needing to Google the formula or the expression it's not formula, it's called expression. Instead of Googling what's the OData expression look like, it's going to give you like a simplified, sort of like a drop down. I want to say this in the formula, and it happens there. So apparently it's only getting rolled out for the SharePoint action first, but I'm keen to see it for Dataverse because that's what we use, isn't it, Lisa?
Yeah, I've got my hopes right up about this one because I am not a frequent enough flow builder that I know that OData syntax without having to
Me
look it up
neither. Like,
every
yeah.
time.
I feel like I build a
So
good amount of flows,
yeah,
but I still don't know it that well.
yeah. And this is another one of those things, like I was saying about let's make it no code instead of low code, because OData is expression language, but there's probably a border there of that starting to get into you need to know a certain syntax. It's not code, but for someone coming at it who's genuinely a no code user, that's actually quite advanced. And even if you understand it like I do, I don't remember it when I don't use it every day and I have to look it up all the time. So yeah, starting with that SharePoint connector as the first one, which is obviously one of the most popular ones. So let's hope we're getting a fast follow into the Dataverse
Yeah,
connector as well.
we need the Dataverse one. And Stephanie
There
sounds
we
like
go. We've
us
got some
too. Yeah,
support there from
that's a good one
Stephanie.
to
Yep.
highlight. Yeah. Oh, the other thing with Power Automate, this is something that's when I run training, you get asked. So if you have your flow sitting in a solution, people can't find it if you go to like the My Flows section of Power
Mm,
Automate, and people are like, "Where is it? Where's my flow?" So now what they seem to be doing, or coming soon, is that if your flow lives in a solution, it's still going to appear in your list of My Flows. So another thing that sounds pretty simple, but I know it's really got to change our lives for our flow building experience.
definitely. Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. And I think that again, those things of just like the barriers for the user. And you see people do it all the time. Where's my flow? I can't find it. I'm going to give a shout out here to Dean, who just made an OData joke.
I
Like
think you
winning,
would
Dean.
comment of the
Thank you.
day.
Yeah, I reckon that's comment of the day so far. That's very clever. I love it.
If you got it, actually, yeah, good point. If you have any jokes you want to share, bit nerdy
Yeah, hit
ones,
us
go
with your
ahead.
OData jokes in the chat. I'll put them on the screen because I know how to do that now. What else have we got going on in the blue selection? That certainly that thing about the
That
OData was my number one pick out
was
of Power Automate.
I just reading over the list on my end here on my side. Those are the main ones, but there's another one I just picked up on. Resubmit multiple failed runs at once. So apparently, if you're looking through your list of all your flow run history, if you see any that are failed, you don't need to do one by one anymore. You can select multiple, and it all happens at the same time.
Now I'm
And
going to throw in an AI Builder one here because AI Builder is sort of a bit of a hybrid magenta blue situation. It's sort of on its
close
own,
enough.
but close enough. AI Builder is been around for a couple of years. It's got a lot of models in there that help you with getting started with AI with a wizard style interface. But the most commonly used one that I've seen certainly is the form processing model. So it can do things, it can do other things of text classification and image recognition and so on. But form processing is such a common use case and a tedious thing to have to do. I get paper forms or I get forms on PDF and I need to extract data from them. I need to be able to get the first name and last name and invoice date and so on. So form processing model rather started out as being able to say, if it's in the same format, if we've got these 5 things in the same format, then you can, 5 examples in the same format, then it can learn that format and extract things. And then we moved on to now you can have multiple formats. And what we're seeing in this wave is unstructured document. So it doesn't even have to be in a certain structure. So now we're looking at letters, contracts, statements of work, those kinds of things. So legal contract, it could go through and pick out the key things that it needs. So lots going on in that space of being able to deal with finding things in documents, and so support for that unstructured documents. I'm going to do this one on the fly, and I probably should check my facts first, but we're live, so let's do this. There was something announced around the licensing. Oh, look where I'm going, where you get a certain number of AI Builder credits with your Power Platform premium licenses now. I'm
Oh
just going to
yeah,
say a certain
I
number
think I saw that
because
as
I
well.
don't have that to hand.
It wasn't in your imagination. I saw that one too.
I was saying, quite sure it was there, but I'm not going to call out what the number is because I don't have it in front of me. And it was earlier than it wasn't part of the Wave One release. It was done. It was done as sort of as a part of the announcements around the Power Apps per the on. I can't even remember. I've lost
The
lost the
Azure
words. But anyway,
subscription is that one? Yeah.
yes, the pay as you go. Thank you, the pay
Oh
as you
yeah,
go
that's what
subscription.
it's called.
So yeah, so there are a certain number of AI. So again, this thing of like let's lower the barriers of entry here, where you get a certain number of credits. So if you're into the form processing stuff or want to give it a go, and you've got Power Platform Premium licenses, then yeah, you got some capacity included. So now David's hit me with a question. Could you share your thoughts on using AI Builder versus Azure Cognitive Services? So it's actually the same thing under the hood. This is a low code versus pro code question. Good question. So AI Builder is for, those of us who like to drag and drop and use a wizard style interface. Azure Cognitive Services gives you all the capability to do all the things and do all the fancy things. But the AI Builder is actually leveraging the cognitive services underneath. So yeah, and we see this across, and we'll go to the teal section next in Power Virtual Agents because that gives us a nice segue. Thank you, David, into that, because that's the same thing of like a low code front end and a high code back end. But anyway, where are you going to go, Rishona, before I change
before we move
tact?
on, another thing
Yes,
for AI
I'm going
Builder,
too fast.
I really like the AI. Actually, I feel like I'm saying I really liked it for all of it, but really I did like all of it. But the AI Builder, so the unstructured document thing you mentioned is awesome, but there's also the ability to customize the pre-built models as well now. So you know how there's like the receipt scanning model and things like that you can use, but as far as I know, it's only for the US receipt formats. So this feature coming is going to allow you to customize these pre-built models. So hopefully that means we'll be able to use that same one. Don't need to rebuild it from scratch, but we can just kind of edit it a bit to fit with, like the Australian receipts or whatever type of receipt it might be.
Yeah.
Not only receipts, the other types of pre-built models that are there too.
There's a pre-built model for identity documents as well, if I'm not mistaken, licenses and
Oh yeah, for
passports and things in there too.
licensing and passports. I think that one as well, it's only the US licenses, but can be any passport, I think. Moving on.
Right.
What do you reckon? Teal?
Teal.
I'm
definitely calling it teal and not green. Turquoise, teal. I've gone
I
with
think I
teal.
picked up calling it teal from you, but it is green when I look at it.
So. Okay, Power Virtual Agents, your favorite piece of the platform, isn't it? What did you spot here?
It is. I like this one. All right, so yeah, to kick off with Power Virtual Agents, this is something that gets requested a lot. I run a lot of the Power Virtual Agents in a day training, and it always comes up. People want the bot to be able to proactively talk to you. So, if I'm on a website, I'm looking at something, let's say we want the bot to talk to us and tell us, prompt the conversation to say, oh, you're looking at this item. What do you want to know about it? So now we're going to get that, which is something that's been asked for quite a bit. So it can sort of understand the context of where someone is. Let's say if your bot is on your website, and it can initiate the conversation with the user. They don't need to go and open up the bot and start talking to it from the start, like, hello, what is this? So it understands where they are. It can suggest a topic for them to talk about based on where they are on the site. So these proactive triggers are pretty exciting too, and one that I'm keen to see rolled out.
That was my top pick out of the Power Virtual Agent stuff as well. I think that thing of the bot starting a conversation with the context is incredibly valuable. that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, so I think it is kind of possible at the moment, but you need a bit more. I think it's like kind of coded into the bot. So I think this is like a no code, low code way to do that.
Yep.
Then the other thing is around connectors and bringing in your flows with your bots. So, if you have built your virtual agent before, you will know that if you wanted to take any action, even if it's just a simple one-step thing, you need to go and build a Power Automate flow for it. But apparently now it's just all going to be in that same bot building experience. You don't need to go off and create a flow for it to do something. So maybe if I wanted my bot to look up maybe the customer's details based on their email, rather than going off and building a flow for that, we apparently will now be able to just do that from the conversation tree itself, which is going to make it a lot more seamless and a lot more faster for our experience there too. Oh, Lisa, you're sharing
All right.
something.
I know. Look at that. There's our contact details. Don't forget to follow us, by the way. We're going to keep going for a little while longer, but we've got some information there. If you want to find out more about any of these things, please make sure that you reach out to us. Rishona, anything else on Power Virtual Agents? Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off there.
Oh no, I was done. I think with virtual agents, those were the two that really stood out. Those are probably the
Yeah.
two most relevant ones, I think.
All right. So I think we're down to the yellow
Oh,
Power
yellow,
BI. Did
yes,
we have
Power
anything
BI.
from there?
So I actually
Let's
just
not
got
forget the
one
yellow.
for Power BI. So DAX statements. I don't know if anyone likes them. I don't. So that might be another controversial statement, but I mean, Microsoft kind of
I'm not
understands
sure
that. I
that's
think
controversial. I think that's just a thing. Yeah.
so. You know, a lot of the trend as well, kind of compared to the Power Apps one, is that we don't want to be writing formulas. I know I don't. So what they've done is with DAX, they're now going to introduce this natural language quick. What's it called? The quick DAX? DAX? Quick. It's quick something. But you know when you write your DAX statement.
Let's go with that. Quick DAX.
It has a proper name. It's just not coming to me right now. So using natural language, you know, you type in what you want your DAX to do, it will generate the statement for you. So it kind of sounds a bit similar to the Power Apps one with the Power FX formulas. Essentially, it seems like it's going to work quite similar to that, but with DAX and Power BI instead.
Yep.
So another reason you don't need to be spending time figuring out your formulas.
Excellent.
That was it
And
for
again,
Power
another one of
BI, I
those
think,
things
as
in
well.
another one of those things in like, let's move from low code to no code and make it easier for everyone.
Yes, that's what we
All
love.
right. I think we're good, Rishona. Anything else that we missed? Any other things we missed? I can't. I think we've probably covered a fair range of things there, and we'll pop the links in this thread here if they haven't come up already for people who want to read the rest of the release notes. And it's also very much it's a watch this space situation with all of this stuff, because it will update and we will keep you updated. We post on our LinkedIn. I know we've got people joining us from Facebook and YouTube here as well, so we do post in those channels. Primarily our LinkedIn channel here is where you'll find most of our sort of updates on things that are going on. So do make sure that you follow us if you haven't already, and then if you want to find out more or get in touch with us, then you'll find our contact details there. So yeah, lots there across sales, marketing and Power Platform to look forward to over the next 6 months.
Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to it. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for our first live stream. Let us know what you thought.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. We did say at the start, it's a bit of an adventure. Exactly.
What do you reckon?
Yes,
we want to keep doing this, Lisa?
Yeah,
yeah, totally.
Next one.
We've
done the hardest one now, right? We've done the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Let us know.
I mean, we learned how to share the comments on the screen. Well, you did at least. I feel like we're set for the next one.
Yeah, no, I know how to share a screen. I know how to share a comment. I know how to change the layout of the screen. We are now total live streaming pros, so let us know what else you'd like to see. Yeah, excellent. All right, we will wrap this up now. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Happy Friday, or happy whatever day it is, if you're still on Thursday in some part of the world. And we will be back with Barhead live shortly at some other stage. Thank you very much for joining us.
See ya. Bye, everyone.